As a college freshman, I know a lot of girls that are taking their first Intro to Feminism course and getting really pumped up on the whole progressive feminist movement, and I keep hearing the same misconception over and over again that really bothers me. I hear girls complaining about the fact that they're frustrated that when they grow up, that when they enter the workforce, they're going to be making 70 cents to every dollar that their male coworkers were making. However, they're failing to understand what the 70% to the dollar income gap actually means. How this is determined is the tax sheets are sent in, and then they look at the gross income for women and men in the workforce. So then they see that men are making 30% more than women. This isn't about two people working for the same company in the same position, and they're like, Susan, you're getting paid 70%, or you're getting paid $7 an hour, and Bob, you're getting paid $10 an hour. No, this is because generally male-dominated fields get paid more than generally and typically female-dominated fields, such as law and medicine get paid a lot more than teaching and nursing. Then I hear a lot about how this is still unfair because it's so much harder for a woman to break into the typically male-dominated fields. The reasons they state bother me as well, because they say because there aren't many women in these fields to inspire you, and we don't have many strong female role models. Why do we need female role models? Why can't we look to a man who has achieved something great, or a man in power, and say, wow, he has a lot of really awesome characteristics. I should probably strive to attain some of these things if I ever want to get into a position of power as well. Maybe I should look at the things he's doing and do that as well. Embody that. Be that. Go for it, girl. Okay. And then I also hear a lot about how it's not fair because women are scrutinized so much more on what they're wearing or what they look like than the content of what they're saying or their qualifications. I just saw the movie Misrepresentation, and they're talking about the fact that Katie Couric is scrutinized a lot on what she's wearing and what boyfriend she has now. But I don't see women such as Condoleezza Rice and Hillary Clinton being extremely scrutinized on their appearance. I never hear, wow, Condoleezza Rice has a new wrinkle, or Hillary Clinton should really shed 5 pounds. Why? Because they present themselves extremely professionally. Men in positions of power really cannot let their sexuality leak into the workforce. When you hear a man talking, when news of an extramarital affair or anything that really indicates anything about his sex life is leaked into the media, this always has negative effects for him. Men, I feel like, generally do a better job of keeping their professional life completely separate from their sexual life possibly because of what if they're wearing. They're wearing their gray slacks, their gray blazers, completely boring, nothing to notice. You really need to worry about how you're presenting yourself because, yeah, if you try to go into a position of power and your blouse is like this and you're wearing a tight pencil skirt, then you're going to get a little bit of scrutiny on the fact that you're not being extremely professional. I was a girl in the world of debate, and I saw this all the time. Girls would sit in rounds and do this. In their free time, like, oh, okay, that's a good point. All right. Or they would speak extremely softly and twiddle with their hair a lot. We have a lot more with us to be sexualized. Men don't have these. Men don't have all of this, typically. You don't see men in office with long hair. You don't see men in office with skin-tight trousers either. Honestly, I think there's a lot more equality than we want to recognize, because when we recognize that we can do the same things and achieve the same potential, then we realize that it's really our own faults. Because if we look to cultures that we as Western civilization see as extremely oppressed, I feel like we see the Middle East as extremely oppressive towards women, and yet they're doing a much better job representing themselves in government than we are doing down here. Why is that? I think it's completely because of our habits and our failure to embody the traits that are necessary for success. I was in debate and I had an issue for a long time with the fact that as somebody who's recently 5'4", in my debate career I was probably more on the 5 foot to 5'2" spectrum of things. I didn't have as much of a lung cage capacity. I can't speak as loudly during the questioning and overpower things, and my voice is higher and there's less to do to catch people's attention. You need to be loud, you need to be assertive. You need to be abrasive to break into anything, but you also need to know how to be polite. The reason there's this stereotype of women either being flimsy or being bitches, and any woman I hear a lot about how if a woman takes control, she's considered a bitch, and this is unfair. No, I think that part of this comes to the fact that women have really shrill voices. if you want to get a point across and you're screeching at somebody that you need to do this or else you're going to get fired, you sound a lot more like a bitch than when you're being calm and in control and demanding of the situation. It's letting emotions get in the way. That is the issue. You don't hear a lot about a woman being considered a bitch because she's very professional, very calm, very level-headed, and speaks with a loud, assertive voice. On the other end of this, it really is, a lot of it is about tone of voice, because especially watching that documentary, I heard a few girls in there going, it's really unfair that men are respected more than women. Okay. Please keep your tone of voice down and don't do that thing at the end where you raise your voice up, because talking like this is actually a symbol of insecurity, and when you raise your voice at the end, women have a greater habit of doing this than men, and psychologically this means that you're insecure because you feel the need to state facts as a question because you need validation on what you're saying. When you speak it as, you never speak a statement as a question. You don't want somebody who's questioning what they're saying to be giving you medical advice, legal advice, professional advice. You don't want them leading you in any way, shape, or form. So if you want to be in a position of power, step into it and do something to be treated as an object of power rather than an object of lust. Thank you.